Before we get into this, I need to warn you. What's been happening with Joe and Kendra over the past few days is way more intense than anyone expected. We're talking emotional jail calls, family members finally speaking out, and a situation that just keeps getting more complicated. So yeah, this is a lot. Hey guys, welcome back to Star News. There's been a major shift in everything surrounding Joseph Duggar and Kendra over the past week, and at the same time, other members of the Duggar family are finally starting to break their silence, even if it took a little while. So let's talk about it. First, just to make sure we're all on the same page, Joseph Duggar was arrested over allegations involving a minor from a past family trip. He pleaded not guilty and was released on a $600,000 bond with strict conditions, including no unsupervised contact with minors. And honestly, my first thought was probably the same as yours. How does someone even come up with $600,000 like that? Like, is Joe secretly rich, or is Jim Bob behind it? There were even photos going around showing him with his dad at an airport shortly after. So yeah, he's out now. At the same time, Kendra is dealing with her own legal situation tied to child endangerment, and according to reports, their kids might not currently be with her. But what really changed everything this week were the jail calls. Multiple recorded conversations between Joe and Kendra came out, and they gave a completely different look into what's actually going on behind the scenes. In one of the calls, the mood was surprisingly light. Joe was talking about working out in jail, doing push-ups, squats, dips, basically trying to stay in shape even while being in solitary confinement. He even joked about getting fitter.
And Kendra kind of went along with it. At one point, she said she feels like she's becoming super skinny because she hasn't really been able to eat lately, probably because of stress. Which is sad, but at the same time, they both seemed in a somewhat positive mood during that conversation. Joe even mentioned his stomach hasn't been feeling right either. But then Kendra said something that really stood out. She said she feels like she's lost her laugh and gets out of breath easily. And if you remember from Counting On, that laugh was kind of her signature thing, that bubbly, recognizable laugh. Giraffe on wheels. So even in a lighter moment, you could still feel that something deeper was going on. But then another call came out just a few days later, and this one was completely different. Kendra is crying, like really crying. You can hear how overwhelmed she is. Joe tells her he's been thinking about her laugh again, almost like he's trying to comfort her. But that's when she breaks down even more, saying she feels like that part of her is gone now. Then things take another turn. She starts warning him not to trust anyone. She tells him to only talk to Travis, who is believed to be a lawyer, and she specifically doesn't want him speaking to someone named Greg. You can literally hear the panic in her voice, the fear, the stress. It sounds like she doesn't trust the people around them anymore, and she's trying to control whatever she still can in a situation that's completely out of her control. And honestly, it feels like she's having an even harder time than Joe right now. And then there's the situation with the kids.
In multiple calls, Kendra talks about them and strongly suggests that they are not currently with her. It's not fully confirmed, but there have been reports pointing in that direction. She makes it very clear that her kids are her #1 priority right now, above everything else. But she also says she needs to take care of herself too. Joe supports her in that. They also briefly talk about selling things or finding ways to bring in some income, so it sounds like there are financial concerns on top of everything else. Now, when it comes to the rest of the Duggar family, some of them are finally speaking out. Jana Duggar shared a statement saying they were shocked and heartbroken and that they had no idea about any of this before it became public. She also emphasized support for the victim and the need for justice. Jinger Duggar also addressed the situation on her podcast, and one thing she said really stood out. She explained that you can never truly be prepared for news like this. Even if your family has gone through something similar before, it still hits just as hard. She talked about the emotional weight of everything, the pain, and how difficult it is to even know how to move forward. And it's worth noting that Duggar and Joe are believed to be quite close, which makes this even more personal. Meanwhile, reports say that Jim Bob privately told Joe that he made serious mistakes. So even within the family, there's clearly tension. Then there's Joe's aunt, Dina, who spoke out in a very direct way. She basically said that Kendra should leave him, start over, and move on with her life, which is a very strong opinion and definitely not something everyone in the family is openly saying. And one more thing that caught a lot of attention. There were reports that Kendra's family briefly set up a GoFundMe, but then quickly deleted it.
The description mentioned an urgent situation involving legal costs and housing, but then it was gone. And for a lot of people, this whole situation is starting to feel very familiar, almost like a repeat of past Duggar controversies, especially with everything that happened before. And right now, those jail calls are really what's changing everything. All right, guys, I really want to hear what you think about all of this. What do you think about how the Duggar family is handling everything right now? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more updates on reality TV drama and stories like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one. And before I go, I want to leave you with what Joseph Duggar recently said. Interestingly, her earlier statement included Kendra, but the newer one doesn't, and it's very similar to Janice. She said they were deeply grieved by the news. Their hearts are with the victim, and they're praying for comfort, healing, and justice. And it is interesting, because after the charges involving Kendra, she's no longer being included in these statements. That shift definitely says a lot. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll be back very soon. Bye, guys.